Hi, my name is Esra Tulgan, and I represent Turkish Investment Support and Promotion Agency. Let me briefly discuss my presentation. I'm going to talk about my institution and some of the key assets that we call as value proposition for different markets while attracting foreign direct investment. As I said, it's a governmental institution. It is actually one of the 5 institutions directly attached to the Prime Minister in Turkish Republic. It is a very young institution, established in around the end of 2006. We have 2 offices. Of course, Ankara is the capital city, so we have headquarters in Ankara, but also Istanbul is the heart of the business, so we have a big office in Istanbul. Our services are free of charge as we are civil servants, and most of the time the projects, the FDI, foreign direct investment projects that we are working are confidential. Very briefly, what we are doing, we have 2 main responsibilities: to promote Turkish investment environment and also to coordinate, to help investors reach governmental institutions and bodies in case they need some help, some push, or if there are some challenges that they cannot overcome while entering the Turkish market. I am sorry. We are composed of team, project directors or country managers, as we call them. I'm sorry, I keep touching it. I think so. Yes. We also do have a. This time it's not me, I think. Okay. Okay. So we also do have an international advisors network. They are based in different countries from where we especially need to attract FDI, or these are countries which export the most foreign direct investment. Of course, USA is one of them, and I am based in Chicago this year to help the team. The services they are providing for the investors, international investors, is to guide them on laws and regulations. We do make market research, sector analysis, and we also do help them facilitate the steps they are taking when they are in Turkey. This is our website. It's available on 12 languages to help investors. We have lots of information about different sectors that we have outsourced from top consulting companies. They are all free. If you go to the site, I'm sure you're going to have lots of information. So why Turkey? These are 3 main topics actually we do promote. Of course, there are some sectorial differences in attracting FDI, but generally speaking, Turkey is a very dynamic market. It's as you see, it's the 18th largest economy in the world and the 6th in European Union, with a GDP of around 800 billion US dollars according to the 2015 numbers. And we also have a general GDP growth in the last decade. Yesterday, our minister has also expressed its last year's growth was around 4%. This is something very promising for the newcomers. Demographics, it's very important because it's a big market for investors and it's a very young market. Our population is around, as you all very well know, around 78 million people, but we have an additional of 1 million people coming each and every year by birth. So the dynamism is also coming from that sense too. That's a chart that we use a lot when we promote Turkey, which shows the average age level of Turkey very young, around 29. But also compared to many other Asian and EU countries, it's a very young and dynamic country. The purchasing power in Turkey, as you see from the chart, has almost doubled in the last decade, which also created very sizable medium class people with considerable purchasing power, which also important for the market. Second important reason is that it's a global hub. That's a perfect map showing Turkey in the center of the world with the neighboring markets, where you can reach within 4 hours of flight of 56 nations, 1.5 billion people, and a GDP of 25 trillion US dollars. this is a location which promises a lot to the investors. Of course, it's related to the connectivity of Turkey. Turkish Airlines helps a lot in that context. I'm going very speed, but I just want to give you the idea of why we are promoting Turkey. And the connectivity in terms of air transportation, the third airport, which is currently being constructed and is going to be the largest in the world with 150 million passengers, is another aspect which is going to turn Turkey as a major hub for economic and trade activities. In terms of shipping, Turkey has done a lot in the past years and has moved from 9th place up and has moved to the 20th place in the last 5 years. And you see some other countries, some other emerging countries in that sense. Logistic Performance Index, which shows Turkey in comparison with Germany, which is actually performing the best at our markets. And this is something that shows the ease of doing business, actually, the ease of doing trade, the custom clearance, all that related aspects. That's an index that actually measures this. And this is why, actually, Turkey is not only a hub for export or manufacturing, but also it's a hub, a center for management. These are some examples of companies which run some other countries from Turkey. As I mentioned, we also do have a very young and skilled workforce of around 30 million, which is an important aspect in attracting FDI. The custom union we have with Turkey is an easing element for companies, for example, for US companies to enter Turkish market, because it doesn't only mean free trade for Turkey and EU member countries, but it also means to apply the EU tariff regime with regard to the third countries or parties. Sure. So as a result, our export market has also tripled almost in the last decade, but it has not only gained size, but it also diversified with trade partners. So why? Because of the structural reforms that Turkey has adopted in for giving investors a better investment environment by accepting most of the international laws or regulations regarding international arbitration or the national treatment. There is no permit in investing in Turkey. Any company established in Turkey is a Turkish company, and all the same rules and regulations are applied. The law on employment expat has been very facilitated, let's say, and the corporate income tax has been decreased from 32% down to 20%, which is almost the lowest in our market in the EU. Where to invest is another aspect, and I'm sure you had some details from other participants, but we have like almost 200 organized industrial zones where investors can go and find themselves a piece of land to manufacture or to do other activities, but also do have like 44 technology development zones. We have very lucrative incentive scheme. It's not a direct payment or cash subsidy, but it's a program which actually covers most of the tax exemptions for the companies. It's basically like reduced corporate income tax and social security premium support from the government. As mentioned, there are very helping R&D incentives too for design centers and R&D centers, and like the income withholding tax exemption, social security premium exemption, and some other details, which actually lots of details that I'm not going to talk about, but with the new reform package that the Ministry of Industry has adopted very recently, some of the key items were mentioned yesterday. So as a result, this is my last 2 slides, don't worry. And in the last decade, thanks to the many regulations adopted to give a better investment environment, and the total amount of foreign direct investment that Turkey has been able to attract has increased very significantly. This number has to be updated, but as you see from the foundation of the Republic up until 2002, the total stock of FDI, that foreign direct investment that Turkey has been able to attract, was only around $15 billion US. In the last 10, 14 years, this number is around 165 billion US dollars. So the work that has been done had results. According to the number of the companies which were established in the last decade is up to 46,000, including 2015. Thank you for your attention. As I said, I am based in Chicago, and for those who would like to have a better understanding of Turkey or have looking for some contacts, appointments, or willing to address some of their key projects to the Turkish government, I will leave my business cards at the entrance, and I am ready to meet each one of you if you have any questions or any projects to discuss. Thank you.